Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video we're going to take you through the week ahead analysis and we're going to show you some key charts to watch for the week ahead. Now before we jump into that, let's talk about some news for this week. We do have some important releases. We have the Fed Chairman Powell speaking on Monday. We also have the Bank of England Governor Bailey speaking at 5 p.m. That's UK time, by the way. So yeah, we've got some important speeches coming out. We also have them speaking again Tuesday, as well as the Bank of Canada Governor speaking. So some decent volatility in the markets to come this week. Other than that, it's a bit lightweight in terms of news releases. We do have some inflationary data out of the US this week, which is looking quite positive again. We're likely going to see an increase to around about 5.8%, which has actually been its highest since 1990, and obviously that is well above the 2% target set out by the Fed. So we could have a positive week for the US dollar. We can see here core CPI down here is expected or forecasted to be slightly better. Some other data then as well. We do have some Aussie employment and employment rate data. Now this is forecast to be positive, so we may see some bullishness out of the Aussie towards the end of the week. So obviously this is on Thursday. I'll just go over the strength meter in a minute or so, and that's actually shown us that Aussie is on a bit of a downward move currently. So I'm actually looking for some short opportunities on Aussie this week, but we may get a bit of bullishness on that move towards the end of the week. So I just wanted to jump and show you a quick chart. You can find this chart over at tradeandeconomics.com, and basically this is the US inflation rate, and we can see that it's increasing, or it's on an upward trajectory, and it's predicted to be coming in at 5.8%. So we should see a sort of a rise to inflation. So we can see the US inflationary rate is on the rise, which is obviously why there's so much talk around interest rate hikes and things like that recently from the Fed, and we can see it's continuing that upward trajectory at the moment. So it could be a positive week for the US and the US stock markets. So going on to the strength meter then, so what we've got here is the currency strength meter and the weekly change just through here. Just putting both on the chart this time just to show you that there is, so we can actually see the numbers as well. But the interesting things for me this week on the strength meter is the fact that the yen is starting to show a rise, and that we are starting to see it move from these low sevens and starting to push a little bit higher, which is suggesting to me that there is some strength starting to come through in the market. So I like to look at this sort of the converging markets now. And what I mean by that is basically the lines that are pointing towards the yen. And the most interesting for me is the Australian dollar. We can see that it is now moving to the downside. So you can see it fell from 5 to 2. So that's a rate of change of -3. And the yen is starting to strengthen slightly. So they're starting to converge towards each other, and that could give us a really good reversal opportunity. So the main charts I'm actually focusing on this week is the Australian dollar charts. Like I said, there is some employment data out at the end of the week, but that could give some volatility to the market. If we go on to our first chart of interest then, so the first chart of interest is going to be US dollar index. Now basically what we can see here for the dollar index is that we're still technically trending to the upside on this 4-hour time frame. We are trading between this overall range on the US dollar index between around about that 94.54 area and around 93.50 is the kind of main range that we're in at the moment. So the key thing is, are we going to remain in the range, or are we going to see some upside? Now the inflationary data is meant to be or forecasting to be quite positive this week. So are we going to see the US dollar remain bullish and break out of these highs potentially? So what I'll be looking for is if any buyers start to step back in and around these areas here, around about that $94 area. If we can get some buyers stepping back in at that point, we may see another run up back to these swing highs. And now we did see some aggressive selling from this area. So is that going to be maintained this week? If price comes back up to this 94.50 area, are we going to see those sellers enter again? That's what we're going to wait for to kind of give us a better idea of what's going on with the US dollar at the moment. However, I think that maybe we are going to see a little bit of a bounce from $94. Maybe we'll see another run up into that 94.50. If we do take out these lows through here, that's quite a bearish sign, and we probably would see another move back to the range lows. But at the moment, dollar is still technically bullish here. So moving on to Aussie then. Oh, went a slide early. Aussie US dollar. What I've done is I've put the weekly on the left hand side and the 4 hour on the right hand side, just here. And what I want to show you is the fact that on the Aussie US dollar time weekly chart is the fact that we've kind of started to break and form quite a strong bearish move. Now when we see these bearish moves on the weekly time frame, what that usually shows us on a 4 hour time frame is a downtrend. So you can see it side by side now, and price basically came up towards that 75 area, which is an area which we spoke about as a really strong area of support and resistance for Aussie US dollar in particular, and now we're starting to see a decline. So are we going to move back towards these lows through here? This range low potentially could be a stopping point for Aussie next before another move back to the upside. But at the moment, 4 hour is showing a downward trend, so I'd like to stay on the side of this downward trend. And if price is going to find some resistance in and around this area, it may come a little bit higher and retest this 0.74 sort of 60 area. If it does, then I think we could see some short possibilities from either of these two zones through there for some downside. Moving on to Aussie Yen then. So these are the chart that I really want to focus on, considering the fact that these strengths and weaknesses are converging towards each other. If we look at the Aussie Yen weekly chart on the left hand side, we can see that price is making higher highs and higher lows. But are we going to be entering a retracement phase on this weekly time frame? If we are, what do we typically see? We see lower lows and lower highs on the 4 hour time frame. Going over to the 4 hour time frame, we can see that we are starting to see that pattern form. So what I want to do is continue to stay on this 4 hour trend, because what we could see is the weekly come back and retest this swing high area around about 81.75 or 82 would be an ideal level for price to come into. That means that we could see some short opportunities on Aussie Yen. So if price was to come back up in and around this 84.75 level, this is a really nice area to look for some shorts, because I did some volume analysis and this is a high volume level on Aussie Yen. So what we could see is price come back up into this point and sellers re-enter the market for some downside. So 84.75 is a key level for me going into Aussie Yen this week. So thanks for watching this video update. I hope you enjoyed the week ahead analysis this week. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more of our Forex content, and I will speak to you very soon.